All right, we have Bernito Sandriguez. Thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. A lot of these panels comprised of OF models have similarities with each other. You have the proud, narcissistic manipulator, the homewrecker, and the one dressed as an Overwatch character. Get right with your dads. Do you guys want to respond to Bernito?
You heard the dad story, so I think you get why it popped out like this. But cosplaying is fun, you know? You can hate on it if you want, but there's a lot of people who buy it, so
okay.
Thank you.
And we have Mr. Cappadocia. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate it, man. Coward is the male equivalent of the insult slut. Never heard that one. Think about it. In either case, it's an example of, I kind of see what you're saying.
I get it.
In either case, it's an example of a failure to be successful in their expected gender role. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. By the way, do you guys think that there's a double standard, an unjustified double standard when it comes to like a woman who sleeps with a lot of guys, she's viewed as a slut, but a guy who sleeps with a lot of women, he's viewed as a stud?
That's extremely common.
Absolutely.
Well, it's common, but you think it's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong because
I
don't think you should be worried about what's going in a girl's pussy. Like, if
How is it fair at all?
Well, there's all kinds of double standards, I would say, but some that benefit men, some that benefit women. But
what ones benefit?
Well, the chief reason I think the double standard exists is because it's incredibly easy for women to get laid, and it's rather difficult for men to get laid.
That's not true because like guys just like when they're drunk, they hang out with other drunk people, and then they just like get together and fuck whoever, and they both do it because basically my best friend made out with my boyfriend in front of my face, and I slapped the fuck out of her, and I'm not friends with her anymore.
Wait,
so,
your best friend made out with your boyfriend?
Yeah.
But okay, I mean, look, the exceptions don't make the rule. Generally speaking, for most men, it's rather difficult to get laid. Whereas, take the average man. It's very difficult for the average guy to get laid, whereas average women, it's incredibly easy.
It's probably hard if they're like begging and if that's all they want, because like guys are just horny these days. So like I feel like it is harder if they like act like they are just wanting that. Like if they're just wanting to like get with the girl, because like most girls are there just to have fun. Like I feel like that's how I am.
Are you talking about like bars and nightclubs and whatnot?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go around the table on this? So, okay, the double standard, it's, women are judged if they sleep with a lot of men, whereas men are kind of big-upped if they sleep with a lot of women. Do you object to this double standard? We'll start with you.
The word slut to me just doesn't exist, to be honest. Like, I feel like unless you're actively trying to have sex with this girl, are you the pussy police? Why do you care what goes in and out of her?
Facts.
At what time? With how many? Like, just like a dude, it's like if you're not trying to like date this man, why do you care how many people he's sleeping with, how many he does what? Like that's not your dick. That's not your coochie. Why are you so mad about it? That's how I personally feel about those words. It's like I don't think that should be even a statement. Like, why do you care so much about what that girl is doing with her coochie?
Okay.
That's how I feel about the word slut. It's like I don't think it should even be a thing.
Well, I'm talking more so not so much about like someone specifically being promiscuous or having a high body count, for example. I'm speaking more so about the double standard that exists. And
I think either way, like I don't think the double standard should exist. Do what you want.
Okay.
I don't think it should exist.
Well, I feel like basically I like would get like mad about that, but like I honestly just like don't care these days, because I will literally like if that happens to me, I just like don't care, because I know I'm not a slut and I don't sleep with anyone. So like, but people like are like they're not a whore like the guy, and I know they are myself, so I don't really care.
I think it's messed up. I don't agree with it at all. You know, do what you want. If, like she said, if you're not actively trying to, be in a relationship with someone, it really shouldn't be your business. And we don't have a word to call men. They can call us a slut. What is our word for you?
Coward.
Yeah.
Coward.
Well,
so
fuckboy.
I just call them broke. I'm like, honestly don't
But
care.
I feel like slut, whore, there's a lot of other words that
They're
are just
very
so degrading,
overused.
and we don't have anything to say about them like that.
About
F
men?
boy, like
Fuckboy, yeah.
that's
Fuckboy's
not
a
that's like
derogatory.
They take
like,
that as a
that's
compliment
not really
most of the time.
They
It's
think
like,
that's a compliment.
They think that's
it's cool when they do it. It's a
like
problem
a
when
one-up
we
for
do
them. So it's just weird. I don't understand why that's there, And with girls too, like if you're bisexual, like you don't care like how many people, like I'm not going around calling girls like a slut. Like
That's not my problem.
No, it has nothing to do with
call them
me.
a slut basically if they cheat on someone else and I like the same man, and I'll take a video of the girl making out with a different guy and show it to him because I like that guy. I will be like
That's
that.
just exposing.
I would expose someone.
Okay. Your thoughts?
I can see the controversy in like both sides of it, and I can see why the men do it. That's kind of been a long time thing. Like that's always been around. That's always how it's been for like the girls, is you get called a slut if you have a lot of sex, which I get where it came from. I get all of that. I don't think it should be something that's mattered as much at all. Like I feel it should be the same on both sides. I see both viewpoints, but it's just like you do it, we do it. If you're not mature enough to kind of realize that, then maybe you shouldn't be having sex and calling girls sluts.
Nice.
I don't think it really does matter, but if the dude is like having sex with everybody that you know, like if you're in a town and they're just having sex with every single girl that you know, and then everybody knows that they're having sex with them, and then it's like, yeah, like you're trying to be a hoe. That's how it just seems like, girl or boy.
Yeah.
Like if you know them, then
Yeah, I think it's just messed up how girls are looked down on a little more than boys about the whole sex thing. Like girls are supposed to not have sex with guys while guys can go out and just do whatever they want. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I think it should be changed or looked at a little differently. I think it should be more equal.
I definitely object to it. I mean, it's why should I deny myself pleasure just because you want this for yourself, you know? Like you want me to have a low body count, so I should say no to something I want to do, have fun with, all that stuff, just because you want me.
Because you're insecure.
Yeah.
Because you're insecure.
Yeah.
Well,
most likely because they're insecure.
Do you guys think it's insecurity if a guy cares about a woman's body count?
I think it
Yes.
can play,
Yes,
I think
it
it plays a
is.
huge role in insecurity, 100%.
Here, we'll just go around the table really quick. Start with you. Go ahead.
I think it can definitely play a big role in insecurity, to be honest. I don't know. Like, personally, I don't do relationships, like I said, so it never really mattered to me. I just don't, like...
You don't do
Try.
relationships?
No.
But do you, like, hook up with guys? Like,
No.
So you don't... Are you asexual?
For the last, like, 8 months, yeah.
Okay.
Me and my
All
little
right.
pink vibrator are getting it.
Oh.
We're doing awesome.
And
Best
me.
relationship I've ever been in.
So, like, what was the question again?
The question is, do you think it's insecure? Because she mentioned insecurity. Do you think it's insecure if a guy cares about a woman's body count?
Yeah, I think it's insecure, but most of the time guys just, like, lie. So, like, I know it's just a lie. So
What do you
they
mean? What do
lie
they lie
because
about?
they're insecure that their body count's so high.
No, I mean, do you think it's insecure for a guy to care about a woman's body count?
Oh, woman's body count.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is insecure because, like, why would you care? Like, she had, like, a different relationship with someone else before you, maybe. Like, I don't understand that. Like,
Sure. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty insecure. I personally don't have a high body count, but I don't care if you do. I would actually prefer a guy to have a high body count so he knows what he's doing in bed and he's done everything and knows exactly what he wants and has experience, because I don't personally, unless, you know, you teach me. So I prefer him to have a high body count. I don't think that should be anything that's an issue between relationships, but I think it's definitely an insecurity if they're projecting that on you.
Okay.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, you already said it. What
yeah.
about you guys?
I don't think they should care. I think that would be an insecurity.
So, okay, men should not care. You think it's insecurity. What about you?
I really don't know what to say on this because I personally care. Like,
Oh,
if
okay.
a guy has a high body count, it kind of does bother me.
Sure.
I'll think about it, but I'm not going to not talk to him or anything just because of that. You know, it's not going to be a reason why I'm like, I can't talk to you because you have 18 bodies, you know? Like, it's not a huge thing, but it does bother me a little.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd say it's insecurity. I would say it's definitely selfishness. Like just saying, like I said, why should you care what I do? Yet if you have a high body count or whatever. So I wouldn't really say it's insecurity, but there's something wrong with it.
It's selfish for a girl, or excuse me, it's selfish for a guy to
It's
have a
selfish
preference for a girl with a low body count.
It's selfish for anyone to.
To, like, care.
Yeah.
Basically.
To care.
I'm
To, like,
Okay.
care if your body count's, like, high or low because, like, you're just, like, insecure.
Yeah, I mean, I do
basically.
understand why they would care. I mean, there's obviously safety, there's health stuff.
Yeah.
Which like I said, totally get. But if
It's
it's
just
all
weird.
done, if it's done safely, if it's done, and like there's some people who are like, I don't want a girl with a body count over 2. Like, dude, she's not living then. Like,
Yeah, that's stupid.
She's not living.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's a few maybe.
Yeah.
There's people that are just young like that.
All right. So okay.
Oh, wrong. Wow.
No. It's haram.
Wrong. Or like whore, wrong. Like a whore and it's wrong. I'm joking.
No, haram. The Arabic, I think, right? Arabic. Okay. So
I didn't know it either. Don't worry.
what you guys call insecurity, I call having a boundary.
Okay. But what
I
is
can
the
agree with that,
boundary?
'cause
So what if the roles are reversed?
If a girl had a preference for a guy who wasn't promiscuous or who had a
So
low
say-
body count, I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think
But
it
then-
happens to be the case that women care far less than men about either current or past promiscuity. But if that was a woman's thing, she's like, maybe she had a low body count herself, and she was like, hey, I don't want to get with a player. I want to just get in with a nice guy that isn't going to probably just fucking chuck me. I want a guy who's maybe more interested in a long-term relationship. And she might look at a guy who has a low body count as a metric for he's maybe more likely to commit to me. And I think guys certainly feel the same way. So I'll tell you you guys are, well, I'm a bit alone on this one here at the table, so don't jump in on me here. But yeah, I think body count matters. I think body count
And
matters.
for you, what do you consider a high or low body
Well,
count?
it
What would you
depends-
prefer?
It depends what her age is.
Why does the
obviously.
age
Why
have
does the
21 to
age
do
Like,
it?
matter?
what's a high body count for someone 21?
Well, high body count at 21.
Like if you're age 21 for a girl, like what's a high body count? Like out here for you, not like for like,
Well, California is
internet.
like a failed society, but
not counting California, counting like yourself.
well, I think the West and the U.S. in general is kind of a failed society. But honestly, like, and some guys in the chat are probably going to say, Brian, even that's too high. But I think at 21, over 10 is definitely an eyebrow raise.
Wow.
Over 10 is an eyebrow raise. And honestly,
Do you
I think-
specify by girls or guys? Like, would you be mad at a girl if she had hooked up with, say, like 20 girls and 2 guys? Would that bother you
I'm
more
not
or
mad.
less?
It's not that I'm mad. It's just like a preference. Like if I find
Why,
out that
though?
a girl's like been really promiscuous,
why?
or is, I'll get to that. If I find out that a girl either was or is promiscuous, it's just like, as someone who like, I'm not interested in just myself. I'm not interested in just running through a bunch of girls. Like, I value having a partner and like having a continuity in a relationship. So I'm going to look at that. If someone's just had a ton of partners, I'm going to think either why didn't the guys want to stick around, or why didn't she pick around? It says something about either something what she's looking for, or it's a kind of a reflection on her. And you mentioned the STD risk. There's certainly an STD risk. Dating is hard enough as it is. I'm not like trying to fucking handicap myself by getting herpes, and then it's hard enough like fucking dating, and then I have to disclose. Like, that's just, I don't want that to be fucking thrown into the thing. And it's just, I mean, there's other reasons. What was your question though?
I don't remember.
I think you're asking why does it matter, or what was it?
Like, what are your reasons? Like, why is that your boundary? Can you elaborate on why you have
Why
a
is
certain
it-
cutoff, and what makes you like?
Turned off by
Like what?
anything over that?
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from,
Yeah.
100%. Like, your feelings are completely valid, but just if you could elaborate a little bit more
Yeah.
on your own personal
Sure.
feeling.
Yeah, and first I would just start off by saying I don't have a double standard on it, insofar as if a woman's standard was also I'd prefer to not date a guy who has a high body count.
No,
I
I
think
get
that's
that.
fine. I think
I
that's
get
fine too.
that.
Yeah. So I would say let's see. So there's a couple reasons. So one, the STD thing. If someone's promiscuous or has been promiscuous, then there's a greater likelihood that they have an STD. And some STDs are asymptomatic, or you don't know. Also, like, I'm not like sleeping. I don't have a roster. It doesn't interest me. I'm very focused on my business. I don't want the headache of dealing with like 5 chicks. So I would want reciprocity there too. I know that that's certainly not the dating meta. Like most people nowadays are dating multiple people at the same time.
That's
They're
just gross.
I can't even find one
that's
I
the
like.
thing.
I'm married though, and neither one, this is crazy for us.
Yeah.
Neither one of us have asked for each other's body counts. That's
Okay.
just something that's not known in
Sure.
our relationship at all. And
Okay.
like, does it bother us if we know? It could probably alter the whole relationship.
If
but
if you knew, or
not
that
alter,
if your
but,
husband
like,
knew.
it would play an impact on it, maybe.
A little closer to the mic.
It could play an impact. Like,
Sure.
it's just something we've never wanted to answer about that. just
Neither of
because
you have wanted to
neither
answer
one
it,
have
though.
wanted to answer the question.
Okay. So do you think your husband has a high body count?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay.
I know my boyfriend does.
Well, I guess to me it's just kind of like it's like, and this might come off as a bit crass. It might come off as a bit crass, but the thought of sleeping with a girl who's simultaneously sleeping with another guy, to me, is just disgusting. The thought of having sex with a girl,
I can agree with
and
that.
but
Not
that's how people
disgusting,
move.
But I could agree.
Like that's how people move.
Right.
Like people are hooking up with multiple people at the same time.
Absolutely. The hookup culture that right now is insane. Like,
Yeah.
100%.
Look, I think you should be free to do whatever you want. I'm not trying to like control anybody, but just for me personally, like if I was about to have sex with a girl and then she fucked a guy like 3 hours before, like to me that's
that'd be gross too. If
It's
I was about to suck a
disgusting.
guy's dick and there's already another pussy on it, that'd be gross as fuck
Right,
too.
and I'm sure girls might feel the
Way
same
gross
way.
as